Welcome to the first episode of the Bold North Sports Podcast. I'm here with Ev. Man, are we excited. We got the Hall of Fame game going on in the background right now. The Browns are up 21-16, and seeing Kellen Mond start this game truly is an emotional moment for all Vikings fans. What would you say, Ev?
I wouldn't say it's really emotional. I know he didn't do anything except for the Green Bay game where he played like 5 snaps and he threw a pick.
Yeah,
Is that right?
That entire draft class is pretty forgettable except for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Justin Jefferson.
Oh, it wasn't DJ Wanham in that draft class?
Well, Wanham, Osborne, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it was a total crapshoot. There are some picks in there like Chaz Surratt, Wyatt Davis. You're not going to go 100% every single draft. But
that whole third round is forgettable. Kellen Mond's on a different team. Chaz Surratt's out of the league.
Yeah.
Wyatt Davis, the last time I knew, was on the Giants practice squad.
Yeah.
And I don't even know, did we figure out who was the third round rookie in that draft class?
No, I do not.
Stats guy Bryson, look that up. Who's the fourth rookie in the third round 2020 draft?
Yeah, I don't...
Find that out, Bryson. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ezra Cleveland was in the second round that year, playing guard right now. Has had a pretty solid career so far, I would say. He was actually a tackle coming out of Boise.
Yep, left tackle. He played with Madison at Boise State.
Yeah, so that's... Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fine. But around the time we had Darisaw. No, we didn't have Darisaw.
No, we did not.
We had Riley Reef, didn't we?
Riley Reef and... Who was our right tackle? Was it O'Neal?
O'Neal was there, yep. It was like his second year.
Okay.
Yeah. We need the fourth third-round pick.
Yep, the fourth one.
Just
2021 draft?
The 2020 draft.
2020.
Yeah. Yeah. Kellen, I never thought he was going to be our future quarterback at all.
Fourth rookie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody thought he could have, but I feel like they were kind of expecting Kirk to be gone at that point. So the 21 season, the 22, whenever his contract expired, they thought he was going to be gone. So that's why they picked him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got the new regime, and I think the new regime looks back at Zimmer and they're like, "You guys did it all wrong."
It was Dantzler.
It was terrible.
Dantzler was the third rounder, though. I feel like he was the first one.
I think we might have the wrong
It
draft.
went Jefferson.
It might be 21 or 22.
Yeah.
It might be the
22.
22. Yeah, maybe it's 21. Maybe Bryson's right.
2020 was a weird class. That's when we had a lot of picks.
Yeah. Anywho, training camp, first night practice was tonight. Jordan Addison's looking good. Our defense, I can't really tell sometimes if we've improved or not. I really can't tell because a lot of these reporters are saying that Brian Flores' new scheme, everybody's blitzing off the edge. You got Harry looking like his prime self coming
Vintage.
up. It's fun to see. But then I look at these videos and I see, I know Jefferson is the best receiver in the NFL. And I get that. But it really concerns me when Byron Murphy's getting beat. But like that clip we talked about the other day, he had great coverage. And he was just running a simple out route. He was just coming here, out. And Byron followed him very well. But Jefferson, being the good receiver he was, came back to the ball. And Byron, I think he showed some frustration after that.
Yeah, I think he did a somersault onto the sidelines and he smacked his gloves.
Yeah.
I think you won't really tell if the defense improves until you get real game to go off of, because they go after each other every day for a month before you face a different team. Other than, is it next week or 2 weeks when Tennessee comes in and then Arizona comes in that following week?
The joint practices, I believe, are 2 weeks away.
So that'll be good to see, but like I said, I don't think you'll be able to tell if the defense improves until after you get after the Bucs game and what you can do on that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday leading up to the Philly game. That's where you'll tell if the defense improves. Mm-hmm. I feel like the defense this year will be more prepared than last year, because last year it felt at times that Donatello copied and pasted from different games and just did the same thing. Because there was a lot of talent on that defense last year, and I think you've gotten younger and faster, what you needed to do. Like guys like Za'Darius, I mean, he was here for 1 year. I mean, he was like the second half of the year, he didn't do anything. But like guys like EK will be missed, even though you could tell, like after like the 20 season, you could tell he lost a step, and it was sad to see. But now you guys like Brian Asamoah waiting in the wings. I know you're very high on him. So, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and then you look at the whole Jordan Addison situation, right? He's going 140 miles an hour. You think he's a good kid right away. He starts off as a Viking saying, let's get paid, randomly hanging up on coaches, being all quiet and whatnot, and being described as a kid who puts his head down and gets to work. And then you just, for me, I texted you. I was mad. I didn't really think of another reason as to why he would do something like that.
My initial reaction to it was Henry Ruggs, a kid that has so much potential, and he just does stupid shit off the field that can affect him and affect other people's lives. Like if he hits somebody going that fast, they die and he's done. Like the first round pick we just had, we were so high on, best route runner in the draft, he's done. He will never touch the field. That's just like Henry Ruggs. He has great speed. He has Tyreek Hill-like speed. I mean, he made one bad mistake, and it cost him and the Raiders probably 10 to 12 years of solid wide receiver. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a young kid. He's 2 years older than us, but sometimes you just got to realize that you're in the highest level of this game, and that you're a professional, and at that point, you know what? I don't know how you can justify. I understand that his dog was in an emergency of some sort, but sometimes you just gotta play on the safer side, even in the most traumatic scenarios.
The thing that I thought of is like, so granted, I've probably gone 100 maybe once in a car. I allegedly might be driving, allegedly not. But, like, even going, like, 80, 90, like, because he was going where it was, like, he was going to 90, 100, 110, 120, 125, 135, and he still was like, I gotta keep going. Like, at what point are you like, holy shit, I'm just going fast. Like, I'm going super fast here, and I could kill myself with one rock in the road.
Right.
One little pothole, you lose control, you're done.
Yeah. I've gotten up to 85 and 90, and I'm like, okay, this is becoming too much for me. I can't imagine going 60, 70 miles an hour more.
But he's also in a sports car that me and you will never drive in our lives. So.
Yeah, Lamborghini Urus is, you got to have a good chunk of change to come by one of those.
If you put me in one of those, I couldn't say I went fast. So I mean, I see where he's coming from, but still, like, that's the first thing that he's known for. Like, when they opened the media to him, it was all just like what it is. It's like, they all ask him. It's like, he has to answer these questions now for probably 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And he can't, like, just brush it off because it's his actions.
Yeah, I think he did a good job, though. I don't know if it was the first day of training camp or, but he addressed the media. He talked to them. He didn't give away any information, and I'm glad he didn't. It's obviously personal information and all that. So I think he did a good job. I think he knows what he did wrong, and it's behind him, and he's making plays in training camp, which is great to see. Obviously, what we saw at USC is, no lie, comes into training camp. He's beating everybody. Crisp route runner. His frame may be, pretty, not like the normal, build you would want in a receiver, but just his ability to be able to create space and get you the right plays that you need is truly fascinating, and we're seeing it right now.
I would say with the frame, the way you mentioned his frame, I feel like guys like Devontae Smith in Philly, like he's not a very big receiver. I feel like he's kind of like the trailblazer in that regard because he's a smaller guy, and so is Addison. But I feel like if you have good route running or you're really good at something, like Addison's really good at route running, and Kirk said he has really good hands, so that'll separate him. And I mean, granted, he is also playing opposite of the best receiver in the league right now. I don't think it's a question.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that'll help him a lot. And then you have guys like KJ with him, and KJ's an under the media's storm of how good he can be, and he's still 87 too. So
Yeah.
You're in a good spot for Addison, especially.
I do like that comparison that you made with Devontae Smith. I'm actually going to hit one a little bit close to home, but he does remind me a lot of Stephon Diggs. Diggs doesn't have that big of a frame. His speed is not going to wow anybody. I think Addison's faster, but his ability to catch the ball, any time that it is, in his, vicinity, his ability to separate and create plays, I think it's pretty much the same. Now, I don't think he'll have the same attitude issue that Diggs will. I think he's a very humble and hardworking kid. But that's who I think of. And I like the Devontae Smith one, too, because of the build.
I feel like this one will hit close to home, too. I feel like we could use him this year, and with KO's play calling, like a Percy Harvin. Like a shifty guy. He can get some jet sweeps. He's fast enough to just be a shifty guy. Granted, that's what I think they traded for Rager for, is a role like that.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if Rager's going to make the team at this point with the way Naylor's playing and guys like Tristan Jackson, Blake Perlow, like all those guys might take his spot. I mean, granted, that's what I think.
Yeah. You like Naylor a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I'm very high on Naylor.
I think Naylor, he's been out the last few practices, but him being in that fourth spot, I mean, unfortunately, we went to the Green Bay game last year in Lambeau, got our asses kicked, 41-17 or something like that.
Yeah, Naylor did catch a touchdown.
Naylor did have a touchdown, yeah.
From McMullins.
I mean, there's times where, yes, he'll come up in moments, and I think a lot of guys have been, wide-eyed by his performance in training camp. So hopefully he gets healthy. He can definitely fill in that fourth spot. And, I think he can really be something. And KJ's going in a contract year. Who knows if the Vikings want to pay him, and if Naylor can step up and get into that role and just take over like nothing ever happened, I'd be completely okay with that.
I feel like as much as I love KJ Osborne, I'm also very high on KJ Osborne. I think he, like I said earlier, he's underrated in a lot of his game. But I feel like, because next year, you're going to have like the Kirk contract, or not the Kirk contract, well, he'll have dead money from Kirk. Yeah. You'll have Jefferson on a mega deal. So, I mean, if KJ comes and he wants $15 million a year, you can't pay him that. Right. So you're going to want, because let's think next year, KJ's gone, other than Jefferson, all your receivers will be on rookie contracts. So that'll save you some money there. That's what I think is going to happen. Unless KJ takes like a team deal like Madison did.
Right. Yeah, we got to throw everything we have at Justin Jefferson. Give him a blank check. Let him write whatever he wants. I don't care. He can have a share in the team. He can have a stock in the team. I don't care.
He can be an owner, like he's a Packer fan.
He could,
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, own the team.
He can have a piece of paper that says
whatever.
Owner.
Oh, by the way, you're an owner. Whatever.
Is Chad an owner?
No, he's not. My boss's husband is actually an owner.
He's got the piece of paper.
He does. Yeah, I'm like, how cute is that, huh?
Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said with Jefferson and TJ, yeah, him too. But Jefferson, I have never ever seen anybody in my entire life. Like, sometimes I forget in games that I'm witnessing history because of the way that he makes plays and just his ability to get open. Everything about him, and like, you cannot mess this up. I don't think Kwesi will. I don't think he will. But he has to get paid. It's gotta be crazy, like almost close to $40 million.
Kwesi can't mess this up.
No.
Like, he can't. I mean, you just can't let him leave. I don't even think you can't let Hawkinson leave, because I feel like those two and Addison are your future,
right?
Regardless of.
You have Jefferson, who's going to be 24, only 24 this year. You got Hawk, who's turning 26, and Addison, of course, 21. KJ's still young, Naylor, and then obviously on the line you got to pay Darisaw here coming soon, and those other guys, three guys interior, Cleveland, Bradbury, and Ingram, they got to fight for their contract. I don't think they're deserving of it yet.
Bradbury just got a new deal.
Yeah, that is true, but like something big like they would get.
A very team-friendly deal, I would say.
Yeah,
like $6 or $7 million for starting center. Bradbury played well last year too, so
yeah,
we can keep that going. That contract will look like a steal out of Quasey.
right.
And Money Rob.
Yeah. So, for training camp, me and Ev are kind of thinking about our breakout players. And so we chose one player from offense and one player from defense. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can start and I have to for offense or defense.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
the one kind of threw me off there.
So, my offensive player that I think is going to really break out this year, and it's because he's improved every single year of his career, is KJ Osborne. Also, I did talk about earlier, it's a contract year for him. He's going to have to prove a lot. And a lot of people, Twitter's not Twitter, X, is a pretty terrible place for just anything in general. It is fun to be on, but a lot of people really trash KJ Osborne for his ability not to be a wide receiver too. And there are some truths to that, yes. I dip into that opinion a lot. But for this year, I think KJ has to step into a bigger role because who knows? You can't count on Addison to immediately get into that wide receiver 2 spot. I think KJ's got a lot going for him, but I think he also has a lot to prove. I like KJ as my offensive breakout player of the year.
Offensive breakout player of the year. I'm gonna throw my first one isn't like as serious as my second one, but I would say so. You could put Hawkinson in this breakout, even though he's already a proven player. But I'm gonna say Josh Oliver.
I like
he's
that.
He's a very run heavy, like a good blocking tight end. But I feel like the way what Johnny Munt did last year, and granted he could be a part of this too. So I'm gonna say like the tight end room in general, just because like Josh Oliver's here to run block, to beef up the offensive line, to be like pretty much a 6 offensive line. But I think you're gonna see a lot of like just press and goes.
Yeah.
And just in the flats, and he just yak. I think he could be a very good yak guy when Hawkinson's maybe split out or he's in a different formation where Oliver, they had that 2 tight end look, and Oliver's one of them, and Johnny Munt, because I feel like they're going to play. I mean, you can't not play Johnny Munt. I feel like he played well last year, and you can't just be like, sorry,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But my true one is I'm going to say Jalen Naylor. I'm very high on him. I almost thought, last year, you didn't necessarily need a first-round rookie because you have Naylor. And I feel like towards the end of the year or middle of the year, he could be wide receiver 3 and beat KJ, or even wide receiver 2 if he's playing better than Addison. I just think he has everything you need in a good receiver. He's a good route runner. He's fast. He has length. I feel like, that's my breakout player of the year would be Jalen Naylor for the offensive side.
I like both of those. And when you talk about the tight end room as a whole, you get TJ Hawkinson for a full year in KO's playbook. I mean, that guy, granted, he did a really nice job of coming into that Washington game and learning everything, and then 9 catches later, it's like he's been a part of the team for the entire year. So I love that. Josh Oliver's a big dude. I don't know if you saw the video. He was walking out of the locker room, I think, a few days ago. Dude is buff. He is huge, and I think he's I don't know how tall he is. He looked tall. And then obviously, like you said, Johnny Munt, he's that kind of guy you put in there. He's always got those 1-yard touchdown plays where it's
the greatest stat line of all time, 1-1-1 against the Cardinals.
Exactly. And so, and obviously, like you said, he came up in moments where we needed him. You can't just throw a guy out like that. So expect to see a lot of 13 personnel potentially. I do like that. My defensive player, haven't talked about him earlier. I bought his jersey last November. I took a huge investment on this guy. I think it's going to work out. But mine is Brian Asamoah, and it's Asamoah, sorry. I was watching the Cuts podcast with Gabe Henderson. Turns out it's Asamoah, not Asamoah. But he is my breakout player. He had a few highlights last year, and one that comes to mind, you were actually at the game. Mm-hmm. He stripped the ball away from Bellinger last year against the Giants, and I was hyped. I I think he's electric. He's fast. He runs like a safety. Hits like obviously like the position he plays. He's an absolute freak of nature. He's gonna have to step up in the role for Eric Kendricks. I think Brian Asamoah has a chance to really solidify himself as the starting linebacker for the foreseeable future.
One thing I'll add about you buying this jersey, I'll never forget when we were at the Green Bay game in the first half when I was probably talking a little too much crap to Packer fans. I seen a Ryan Wright jersey and I was giving you crap because you probably thought you were going to have the coolest jersey there. And we seen that Ryan. Do you remember that Ryan Wright jersey?
I do remember it. Here's the thing. Yes, I may not have had the coolest jersey that day, but I guarantee you that I was the only Vikings fan in that stadium with a Brian Asamoah jersey. Asamoah. God. Yeah. Asamoah.
I'm gonna call him Asamoah. I don't really care.
That's how it looks like it's spelled. I couldn't.
You can't ask me.
I don't know. His family could tell me Asamoah, and I'd be like Asamoah, tomato, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah.
But so for my breakout player on defense, so I'm gonna technically I have 3. Again, I'm gonna kind of take a position group. I'm gonna take the safety spot, other than Harrison Smith, opposite of Harry, because we know we have in Harry. I mean, anything you can get out of the other safety spot is just kind of plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take Cam Bynum, but more I'll take Lewis Seen. I think that Seen will find his way on the field because he's a hard-hitting safety, just like Harrison is.
Yeah.
Kind of a younger version of Harrison, maybe a little like lengthier, just good at the safety spot. But I feel like he could really break out. He's a good tackler. He can hit hard.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. And then my other one, I would have to go with another linebacker. Me and you both. I would say you're high on him too, but Ivan Pace Jr. He's too small to play, but he also got that at Cincinnati. And he turned out to be one of the best college linebackers last year on a good Cincinnati defense. So we'll have to see. Right now he's with the 2s, but I think he could easily take Jordan Hicks' spot because I think he'd be faster than Jordan Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, Hicks will obviously start, but I feel like even if he can't get a starting role, he'll get in the Brian Asamoah role of last year, like where he has a couple packages where he's on the field, like the third quarter, the fourth quarter, the early big parts of the game where he can make plays and just show the playmaker he is.
Yeah. I love both of those, and I was actually almost going to go with Lewis Seen. It's unfortunate what happened last season with Lewis in London, but man, his recovery is great. He looks just like he did in college. He actually had a pick, I believe, last week. He flew across the field, made a terrific pick. I expect him to maybe not start right away. I think he's with the 2s right now. I don't expect him to start. I think Bynum probably will, but I think eventually, with all these safety packages that Flores has, because our safety room is incredible. I would also like to note that Metellus is another one that I'm excited for.
I was just going to say that. Metellus will find his way on the field. I think you're going to see more 3 safety looks. And I feel like with the Seen point you made, I think if Cam Bynum, after that Philly game, I think they should have went to him because last year that Philly game he played horrible. That Quez Watkins touchdown where Cam Bynum was just gone and there was nobody in the middle of the field because Harrison blitzed and Bynum was in the end zone. Like what did I just do?
Right.
But I think if Cam Bynum should have a short leash this year because you have guys like Metellus and Seen just waiting in the wings. And I will add, is it Ty Ward?
Jay Ward.
Jay Ward. Yeah. Is also he's a positionless safety corner, so if he's got anything, he could even that revolving door at the other safety opposite Harrison could get some looks there too.
Yeah. And then Ivan Pace, man. I wanted us to draft him. I didn't think that he was going to go undrafted, but sometimes I guess it's how the cookie crumbles, but I'm glad that Kwesi took a chance on him and Andre Carter, who I think is on the PUP list right now for some reason. It'll be exciting to see him back. I mean, that guy's a physical specimen. But Pace, he's small, and he may be a little undersized. But, man, in this blitz scheme that Brian Flores has, I mean, he's lightning quick. He's got great instincts. He just will not stop until the person with the ball is is down. I mean, it's insane. I was watching his college highlights, and I really liked him on tape. I didn't really care much about his measurables at all, and I was genuinely shocked to see him not get drafted. And I was so happy when we gave him an opportunity. So he ran with the ones tonight, actually, at the night practice for a little bit. Mainly with the twos. I think he had a sack, but I think if we can get him in there and give him a chance, I think he will definitely prove what he can do. And him and Asamoah together, it just be crazy. It's two Tasmanian devils going after the ball carrier.
The coverage might not be great, but
yeah,
we'll figure it out.
I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm not entirely sure how good Asamoah's coverage skills are, let alone because I think that play that I was talking about, it was a man. But he made a good recovery, you know. Ivan Pace being... shorter throws over the middle might be difficult, but well, I guess that's another time to talk about if it happens. But we do actually have some news for you guys. A few days, or actually, was it yesterday or 2 days?
Yesterday we bought them.
Yesterday we bought tickets to go to the Bucks game. We are going with my roommate and then his father. Yeah, we'll be going there wearing we ordered our retro jerseys.
I'm off of Fanatics.
Off of Fanatics. Definitely not any other site that's cheaper.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I got myself a Jefferson one. Just a basic, retro Jefferson. You got
Hitman.
And
then I got a Kirko Chains jersey as well.
Yeah, I ordered a Hawkinson color rush jersey, assuming we extend him. So.
Do you want to name drop said person, or should we name disclosed?
Who? Oh,
should we name
my
drop
roommate?
Him? Yeah.
My Austin. Shout out if you're watching the video here.
He'll probably be on a pod in the future.
He might be. He's a big Minnesota fan. We might need him for some wild content.
Not we. That's what you...
Okay, well, all right.
I have to throw you out under the bus there.
Okay, guys, here's the thing. When we started this podcast, we knew that we wanted to have all 4 teams. We weren't sure about the Gophers either. We might have to because we do have a plan for that. That might be in September.
And also, we can't forget about the Lynx and the new arena football league we're getting.
New arena football? That's actually sick.
You did not hear about that?
I did not hear about that.
The Minnesota Pike, I think they're getting called.
That's kind of sick.
Yeah, they're going to open. I think they'll play in Target Center or XL Energy Center.
Like Northern Pike? Or?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, we're getting an arena football league.
The last arena football game that I went to was when Lacrosse had a team. They were the Lacrosse Spartans. Me and Luke went to a game in 2010 or something like that. So... I would go to a game. I love arena football.
I'm not going to an arena football game.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'll watch them on TV, but I won't go to a game. You will not see me at a game.
Anywho, we're trying to get to as many games as we can this year. Starting out with week 1. I think it's going to be a good one. We can have a lot of fun. We are planning on going to a Twins game also, the Saturday night before.
That same weekend, they play the Mets.
The Mets, yeah.
Get a little doubleheader going, maybe. Stop in, see one of our buddies at the U, too.
Yeah, Mr. Will Thompson. Love that guy.
Drop.
Yeah, another name drop. You might as well if we go up there. Yeah. He'll yeah.
Well, allegedly we might have a couple Coors Lights. Allegedly.
Yeah. We don't need to drop our ages or anything.
No.
No. Not at all. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be.
We are sitting up. I believe we're in the nosebleeds, but honestly, U.S. Bank, there isn't really a bad seat in the house.
It's a home opener, and I feel like we got a good price on it, so why not?
Yeah.
And look what Jefferson did last year, week 1.
Right.
You can see half of that. I'll be happy.
I think we're gonna really. I think. In that game, I think that our defense is gonna have its best opportunity to show how much improved they did from last year.
Yeah, but I don't think the Bucs offense is very good.
It's not.
I mean, you're probably right now. It's looking like you probably will see Kyle Trask week 1 against them. Sounds like Baker's not been doing very well at camp.
Right.
And the QB battle's close. So
yeah.
I mean, if it is Kyle Trask, Florida go crazy. But I think We'll see. I mean, I feel like if that Philly game would be in Minnesota, I would rather go to that.
Right.
But I'm not going to Philadelphia.
You will never, ever catch us going to Philly because Philly fans are crazy.
I wouldn't say never. You would never see me. I'll just state it this way. You'll never see me in Philly wearing purple, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just ever since the NFC Championship game where full cans of beer were thrown at our fans, I don't think I want to go there because I don't want to die there, and it just wouldn't be a good experience. So we'll wait a little bit before Philly is like terrible again, and we're like really good, maybe a few Super Bowl rings, hopefully under our belt. I don't know.
A few. I just won.
Just one.
Fine. We just want one.
Just
before
one.
I die.
That's it. Just one.
Just one. That's all it is. Kirko can do it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Kirko chains, baby.
Did you finish that Netflix series?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think?
Our offensive line sucks.
It's actually bad. Like I thought it got better, but Kirk is getting hit, and like every single episode, it's him like in his ribs. It's crazy, like the amount of damage that guy took last year and all the bruises that he just developed. It's insane.
I think this makes Kirk look better because Kirk's all about winning. He's all about Viking football. He's a family man, and then it's football, and his whole life revolves around football. And the way he just went through it, like that Buffalo game, where he's just like, oh, the whole game, because he's hurting the whole entire game.
Yeah.
And then that Patriots game where he gets hit in the second half, he's just hurting the whole time, and he still makes that great throw to Jefferson, and then that throw to Thielen in the back of the end zone. I mean, I liked Kirk before the documentary, and I liked him more enough to buy his jersey after.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in full support of Kirk. I think this could be a big year for Kirk because of the first time in his 10-year NFL career that he has the same play call. He doesn't need to learn a new offense.
Yeah, I think that's great for him that he is able to finally be in an offense for more than 1 year, like the same playbook, because every single year he started out with DeFilippo, then goes to Stefanski, and then goes to Gary Kubiak, then his son Clint Kubiak, and now obviously Wes Phillips and KO. I think it's great that he's able to finally grasp it a little bit better in that Netflix series. I mean, you can, spoiler alert, you can see him basically recording himself saying the plays into his phone and then just listening to them on the way back from practice. I think that's cool. I love the commitment. It's a pretty interesting way to get that stuff, just muscle memory into your brain. So I think it's just cool, and it just also shows how prepared he really tries to be.
I think this year you'll see a side of Kirk. The comfortability will be there all year, I feel like.
Yeah.
Granted, if he's not getting destroyed, if the offensive line can do something. Not even really the offensive line as much. It's really the guards. Because that's where, like, you have two great tackles. It's really the guards that are the bad part. Like, Ed Ingram gave up the most sacks for a qualified starting right guard last year. And that's why Dalton Risner came in for a visit.
I think what happened with Risner is the Vikes probably asked him if he could come in and basically get signed for depth. I don't think the Vikes were gonna offer him a big time contract or anything like that. So as long as Ed Ingram just doesn't step on Kirk Cousins' cleat, more than 5 times a year, we should be okay. He's a good run blocker by all means, but passing, it just seems like he can't get it. So I don't really know, but so now that we've covered them, we need to get to the other half here, the Twinkies.
You want to go to the Twins already?
Yeah, we can go to the Twins.
All right.
Check the time. Moving on to the Twins. Twinkies got the dub today, 5-3 over the Cardinals. Gray on the mound. Had a pretty solid outing, I would say. It's just being 56 and 54 in a bad division I don't seem too proud of that.
If you make the playoffs and you win a playoff game, I'll be happy. That's all I really care about. I'm 19 years old and I haven't seen a playoff win.
It's crazy, guys. Well, we dropped our age there. It's been 20 years since the Twins have won a playoff game, and so that's our entire lifetime. And it's really sad.
It's a joke.
It's extremely sad and a big joke.
That's a joke. I mean, you think the M&M boys of the 10s could have gotten it done, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Nobody can do it. I mean, all I've known growing up is the Twins, if they make the playoffs, which is every 3 years, they go to New York, they go to the Bronx, and then the Bronx just end up hitting 10 home runs in 3 games, and then you come back to Minnesota for a game, you lose, and you're done. That's all I've known for October baseball in my life, my lifetime.
Mm-hmm. We could try to get to a playoff game this year?
Hey, they gotta make it first.
They do have to make it. Yeah.
If they would make it and they'd win, it would probably be better than a lot of I think it would be better than going to a regular season Viking game.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the atmosphere, walking out of Target Field with the beautiful skyline in the background, walking out after you win, beat anybody. Honestly, you could beat the A's in a playoff series if they could find it in. But I think the atmosphere and the monkey off the back. Because that's the thing, you get to the playoffs, and the monkeys jump and strap to your back because you get there and all the fans there know, and the other team knows. Yeah. You know, you're as a player Correa and Buxton, they all know. They were 10 years old when they maybe not 10, but
yeah, probably
they were a little younger than that when the last team they beat in the postseason was the 2002 Moneyball A's.
Right. So
it's hard. It's because you have to get there, and getting there is for the Twins. So getting there for every other team would be I would say 50% of the time, but for the Twins, getting there is 25%, because you have. But once you win that playoff game, I think everything changes because you can get comfortable, and guys like Correa have so much postseason experience, and Christian Vasquez, those two guys gonna have to carry you to the postseason, and then when you get to the postseason, they have to show that they've been there before.
Right.
Correa needs to hit another home run and hit on his wrist. It's his time. They just need to go. It's go time.
Yeah, anything can happen, obviously, in the playoffs. You hear it in every single sport. And you get that one win, and you could ride all the way. And the Twins, obviously, it hasn't been a common theme. That kind of stuff doesn't happen around here. But I feel like once you get that one thing that you've been chasing for so long put behind you, it's no longer a narrative that you have to hear every single year. I think we have a pretty special... We just need to get the bats going. That's the issue. If we had the 2019... team, this would be perfect. But obviously, things just sometimes don't work out like that.
I think if granted they have to make it, and they're playing 500 baseball, if that. But the way the pitching is, it's just his starting pitching. The bullpen is still shit. The bullpen sucks. Other than Duran, and Duran's been terrible as of late. The guys like Griffin Jackson stuff. But the starting pitching is usually when the Twins make the postseason, it's because they can hit the ball, and then the postseason they just hit pause on hitting the ball, and the pitching is still shit. But this year, you guys Sonny Gray and Pablo, game 1 and 2 starters. Joe Ryan, if he can get his head out of his ass and pitch like he did before the All-Star game. And then you got wild cards like Kenta. Kenta has a lot of postseason experience. This pitching staff has good experience, so if you can make it, that pitching staff or the starting pitching staff can really maybe venture you past the first round. But I think after the first round, if you get a team like the Astros or the Yankees, granted, not even the Yankees. The Yankees are shit this year, and that's surprising to me because every time the Twins sneak into the playoffs, there awaits the bear just sitting there looking at you. So another team, there's a lot of good teams in the AL. So if you can beat a Blue Jays team just to get your feet warm, and build it for the future. Just show the young guys in the farm that the Twins aren't the joke they used to be anymore.
Right. If we do sneak into the playoffs, what do you think is the most, right now, the most, I would say, the matchup that's probably most likely to happen?
I'll pull up the standings, but right now I would say it's the Blue Jays. Pull this up here.
Because if it ain't the Yankees, there's a chance.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
I mean,
So the Twins right now, so Tampa leads the wild card. The Astros are in second in the wild card, and the Blue Jays are in third.
okay.
As of tonight, they're 2 games above Boston, so we would get the last wild card team is where we would, because we'll be the worst division winner, the Twinkies will.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident about that, because unless they're just going an absolute heater, which I highly doubt, but it looks like Toronto. Click on Toronto here.
Yeah.
Look at how their season's going. But, yeah. So they actually looks like they just lost to Baltimore today. Jack Flaherty got his first start in Baltimore. So, we'll see. I mean, they got Vlad. They got Bo Bichette. Those two will carry them. They got a very good starting pitching. Got an old friend, Jose Barrios.
Mm-hmm.
Alec Manoah, if he can find his last year's self. And then the guy, I'm not even going to try his name, like Jim Hewin. I don't even know. I'll pull it up. I can't pronounce names. He's the old Dodgers pitcher. They signed him a couple years ago. See, like, they're 10 games above 500. They're 3 games in the East. So they're
third in the East?
Yeah.
So they're playing better than
record.
us.
They have a
and
better
they're
record
third.
than the Twins.
That's crazy.
Oh, and they have Kevin Gausman. Then they have... Can you pronounce that name?
What's his name? Hyun Yin Ryu?
Yep, him.
I don't know.
I can't pronounce names. So.
Yeah.
They have very good starting pitching. So that would be a very tough round 1 matchup if they would make it. Any round 1 matchup for the Twins would be hard. But the thing is it's just like the NFL. Like, the division winners get home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, whatever you can do in front of your home fans, if we make it, I'll be there. Game 1.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting there.
Simply,
hoping to win.
if you're saying that these guys have a pretty good rotation, again, bats need to get going. Our pitching are they a good hitting team?
They got a good lineup. They got Brandon Belt, Vlad Guerrero. He's awesome. Bo Bichette, he's awesome. Then they got Dalton Varsho that they traded with from the Diamondbacks in the off season.
Yeah.
So they got Danny Jansen's their catcher. Got a good team. They're a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, any team like I would rather play them than probably the Astros, because the Astros are actually the last team to beat the Twins in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The 2020 playoffs with no fans in the stands.
Yeah.
So.
Do you like our rotation against their lineup?
It depends, because the rotation has been right away. The rotation was really good. Like the whole first half, it was good, but after the second half, they've struggled. And that's really... You want to pull up the wild card again? So you can see teams. So the starting pitching, the first half, they were really good. In the second half, they've struggled since the All-Star break. So it'll be interesting to see. Like, Joe Ryan had a great first half, and now he's struggled. It's like whenever he pitches, it's like the home run derby. But it's depending. It really depends on a lot of things, because if the bats can get going, the starting pitching can stay where it is, and the bullpen can get decent, it might be able to make a run. It's baseball. It's not the best team that wins it. It's the hottest team that wins it every year.
Right. Just gotta catch fire at the right time. I mean, obviously, pretty much this entire season, it's just a lot of ups and downs. I think there was a short stint. I remember us scoring runs over in games as far as 5 to 6 runs plus per game. I thought this is new, but there's just a ton of games where you have to help out your pitching, and scoring 1 to 2 runs per game is not going to do it.
No, I mean, and that's the most frustrating part, I would say, is guys like Buxton and Correa and Vasquez just aren't hitting.
Yeah.
You have Joey Gallo, and I disagree that he's still in the roster. Joey Gallo should be deactivated. He's hitting like $150, and he hits a home run, and then like Rocco is just like awesome. You hit a home run. Like, he has 17 home runs. He's probably got like 31 or 32 hits on the year. Yeah. And it's July. But I mean, like, nobody's hitting the ball is the part. But other than like guys like Eddie Julian, he's hot. He's great. Mm-hmm. And then you got guys like Kirilov, who just went on the IL, unfortunately. And then guys like Kyle Farmer, he's a stingy hitter. Willie Castro. But it all just really depends on the way they play. Honestly, it seems cliche to say that, but I mean, if they can start hitting the ball, if Correa can get back to Correa's like a 290 hitter in his career, and he's hitting like 226 right now. And the worst part about it is Buxton not being in center field takes away half of his value. Yeah, Buxton being in center field is like it's like a deer in center field.
Oh yeah,
I mean it's awesome when he's out there. And then if Buxton can get healthy enough to play the outfield, your lineup gets instantly deeper because you can slide Eddie Julian to the DH spot, and then you can have guys like when Royce Lewis comes back, Lewis, Polanco, Correa, and Kirilov could be your infield, with Julian being your DH. Like, that makes your lineup a lot deeper. And if you have a deep lineup, you need a deep lineup in the postseason. Because in the postseason, you can't just have, like, the first 5 hitters are hitting 300, and then your back half of your order is hitting $150. Just like when as soon as they get up, it's just out. Like, you have to have a deep lineup to win.
Right.
And that's once Lewis comes off the IL, if Buxton can get healthy enough we're in August now. If he can get healthy enough, I mean, we were told that he was going to be able to play outfield by July. It's August and he's still DHing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's all a crapshoot. You're just gonna have to wait and see. But if Buxton can get to center, that makes your lineup deeper. You should deactivate Gallo and just call up a prospect or something. I really do like Matt Wallner. He's playing very well as of late. He got called up a couple weeks ago when Buxton went on the paternity leave for a couple of days, and he's kind of stuck. Larnick, I want more out of him. He's been such a high prospect for 3 years now, and he hasn't really shown that he can hit the ball at the next level. So it's interesting to see. And news of today is Joe Ryan's going to go on the IL, and they're going to call up Dallas Keuchel, 2015 Cy Young winner Dallas Keuchel.
Dallas Keuchel? Is he like 40?
Yeah, he was playing for the Saints, and they called him up, and so we'll see what he can do. He's going to be in Joe Ryan's spot in the rotation, so if I'd have to guess, he'll pitch either Monday or Tuesday. So we'll see what we got in him. Hopefully he can pitch well, and when Joe Ryan comes back, he can take a bullpen role and get Juan Moran. I fucked up his first name, but
who?
Giovanni Moran. He is fucking dog shit. He can leave. But Pagan can get cut. The whole bullpen can get cut, actually.
Is Paddock still here?
Yeah, Paddock. He had Tommy John though, so he's out till like September, October, and that's another dark horse I didn't even think about was in October. Paddock will be healthy, so he could add to your rotation or even your bullpen. So your bullpen could look completely different next month if Dallas Keuchel can show that he's the former himself. Him can put Paddock in there, or Paddock can probably take the 5th spot in the rotation, move Kent into the bullpen, and then you have Keuchel, Kenta, Duran, Jax, Florio, the guy we got for Florno, I think is his name. I don't know how to pronounce it. The guy we got for Lopez, which turned out to be a shit trade because look what Cano is doing in Baltimore right now. You know, Cano, the stud closer for the Cardinals, or not the Cardinals, but the Orioles.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he made the All-Star game. Yeah, we traded him, Cash, and another guy for Lopez, and now Lopez plays for the Marlins. So
wonderful.
It
is what it is, I suppose.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So, I don't think we got anything else.
Yeah, I think this is a good first pilot episode.
Yeah.
Just get our feet warm a little bit. We would appreciate any feedback you guys have
That is true.
on YouTube, Spotify. We're on all the socials.
Yeah.
You want to hit on the social part?
I can do that. Yeah. So what you are watching right now, obviously, is the longer form on YouTube. Otherwise, if you could be watching on Spotify as well, both of those are Bold North Sports. On either of those, you can follow our Insta. We'll be posting on Reels at Bold North Sports, and then on TikTok as well, Bold North Sports Podcast on TikTok as well. You'll find a bunch of clips there. If you want to come back and rewatch the videos, obviously we do encourage you guys to subscribe to our YouTube, follow obviously our other pages. Just try to engage as much as possible. Give us some feedback. Ask some questions. We are going to try to do some Q&As here and there, potentially, if once we grow a little bit bigger. Just another addition to the things that we want to do. We're trying to create some little mini games, try to keep the podcast a little bit more fun and engaging, so then it's a little bit more entertaining. And then also the games that we don't go to, we're hoping to be down here, figure out a way to live stream during games so you guys can hop on and watch the game with us, ask us some questions, see what you guys think, and we'll give our opinion, and we will try not to destroy the mics if something bad does happen. So we do appreciate you guys tuning in for this first episode, and we will see you guys in episode 2.